let a few more people come in. I'm seeing lots of familiar names. So most everyone here, I'm assuming, has already been to a webinar or two in their day. So there's not much I need to say, except at the bottom of your screen, if you do need to chat any kind of questions, or if you're having any kind of technical issues, just click that little chat button and type it in, and I will get to you. If I can't get to you, I will send you over to Audrey, who I know is on the other side, to make her help you. But we will do it together. In the meantime, as Cammie and Vonda are talking through, if you have a couple of questions, we're going to try our best to get to all of them. Cammie, you have a ton of stuff we're trying to condense into a short amount of time. I've had a lot of people email questions, which is awesome. So I just want to make sure if we didn't answer your question, shoot us an email later, and one of us will get back with you.
Perfect. That sounds good to me.
So, all right. Well, Cammie, I think it is 3 minutes after. You and Vonda, just kind of take it away.
All right. Well, first, I want to say welcome to everyone. Lori's done that somewhat, but I do say, welcome. Summer has not officially started. Starts on Sunday with Father's Day. Roll it in. But I think the list of projects for the summer has already started. Having been in the flower shop, knowing that, okay, we know that June is a month, we have a lot of things that we need to accomplish. And one thing we know, it's no secret that your website has been knocking it out of the park. Cammie can speak to that. So you have one chance, and this is a play on words, but it's the truth. You have one chance for a good impression, or one chance for one click for a customer. If they click on your website and they don't like what they see, they're gone. They're going somewhere else. So Cammie, tell them what you've discovered in doing some deep dive research.
Yeah, so we recently offered a website analysis to over 70 florists. And so today I just kept seeing these common mistakes. As I was talking to these shops, it was the same thing, the same problems. So I wanted to talk to you about those 3 major mistakes and some simple solutions to overcoming them. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And actually, I've got the list right here. You can see today we're going to look at the top 3 mistakes and how to fix them. Simple things you can do to make your website shine. And I really hope you walk away with some inspiration from today. I'm going to show you some examples of people that are doing it well. I know you all are visual people and you're always looking for different ideas. And so I'm hoping you'll walk away with some great ideas from today. And then the 4th thing, we're going to spend a little time at the end talking about what we do at Flower Clique and how we can help you. So we'll just kind of add that at the end and how we can help you with all these things I talk about. So we'll start with common mistake number 1, which is keeping the website as is, or just keeping it, we keep calling it out of the box, right? So you just opened it up. They provided you with this website. They inserted, they have a template. By they, I'm talking about the major floral website hosts, right? Like the Teleflora, the Flower Shop Network, FloraNext, Strider. I could name all kinds of floral website hosts, and they do a really good job of giving you guys the nuts and bolts of a great website, right? They give you guys a great website where you don't have to worry about broken links or basic SEO fundamentals and how someone checks out and adds to cart and all of those things. They provide that for you. But what they also, let me just add that they also add a self-administration tool. All of them have a self-administration tool so that then you can go in and kind of add some tweaks. And what I find is florists don't have time, right? So they're given this website that'll work, right? It'll work great, but then they don't have time. And very, very few florists take the time to go in and take that website they've been given and make it their own. So that's common mistake number 1.
And Cammie, I would have to say a lot of that is because it's like, well, I pay them to do it, so they should just be doing what I need to have done, and not even thinking, no, you need to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to show us here in just a few little
Exactly.
things.
Yeah. And so on the next slide, basically, I'm going to say customize your site, make it unique to you. So I'm not saying create a whole new, website. These floral hosts do a darn good job, right? Take what you have and just make it a little bit better. And so I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about opportunities, easy, like low hanging fruit. I say that all the time, the low hanging fruit. This is something easy for you to do, especially in the summer, right? When you have maybe a little extra time. I hear shops are pretty busy still with events and all the things, but I want to add that when you make these customizations, I mentioned all these website hosts, right? Teleflora, Flower Shop Network, Flora Next. I mentioned that there's all these hosts and they all do a pretty good job, right? But let's talk for just a second about SEO, that buzzword that we keep hearing everywhere. Search engine optimization is what that stands for. And basically what that means is when someone Googles florist in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where do you land in that search? So that's what search engine optimization is. And if you have a website that's just like your neighbor, just like your competitor, Google, is going to tip the scales in your favor if you add those little extra touches, that make it your own. So that's really where it does help you with that. And it helps the customer to say, I want to do business with this guy. They don't look like just a big box store. They look like a local shop that I want to shop at. So I'm going to look at today how to customize your site. I'm going to look at the About Us page, the home page, some unique gifts and ways to package those, something you can do with product descriptions, and also the city pages. And I'll debrief all of this, but I just want to give you an overview of, there's kind of a big answer for solution number one. So I wanted to talk about that. So let's start with the About Us page. This is an easy area to shine, and it's very easy to customize on pretty much any platform that I've seen. This is what would be referred to as on-site SEO. So there's different kinds of SEO. This is on-site SEO. In other words, what do you say about you? I learned that from Ryan Freeman, by the way. Give him a little
Shout
plug.
out.
Shout out to Ryan Freeman. But the About Us page that's where you're supposed to do that. This is where you kind of toot your own horn and you say, this is our story. This is where you differentiate yourself. And most website platforms, they give you a template and they give you a website with like some words in there where you insert your name and your city and your phone number. They give you a template, but it's really meant to just be like kind of a temporary holding thing for you. And what ends up happening is the florists take it, leave it that way forever, and don't ever make it their own. So I really encourage you to add some content of your own, add some text, some pictures of your staff, tell why you got into the business. Even if you don't think someone's going to be sitting there reading it all, you're going to be putting content that is good for SEO, that makes you different from your competitor. And frankly, there are people that read those stories and want to know how you got your start.
Well, and I think not only just how you got your start, but it makes you sound and look like a local business rather than an order gatherer. Makes you look like you're real. It makes you human. I've read many of these too, Cammie, and some of them talk about how they rescue animals or they do this or they do that. And you're like, oh, like you said, I want to do business with that person.
Right. Yeah. I talked to a shop owner that told me she volunteers for prison ministry with her husband. And I was like, oh my gosh, this needs to be on your About Us page. Like she didn't even think, but I thought that's a great little nugget of, info about you. So this is a good example that you have pulled up here. This is a shop we work with in McKinney, Texas, and they do a really good job of highlighting their staff. Now, they do it. It may seem a little intimidating because it's very professional. But I will tell you, I've seen shops do the similar thing with the staff, and they really literally took a picture with their iPhone, sent me the picture, and I put it up on their About Us page with a little blurb about each, this is our designer, this is our delivery driver. And it just adds such a nice personal touch to the About Us page. One thing too about the McKinney, Texas one is I love how she started out with, my name is Stacey Edwards and I opened Edwards Design in 1992. And it's just all, you don't have to overthink it. Just think as if you were writing a little letter about your business and yourself. And so just don't overthink it too much. The next one is another shop we work with. She added a few local awards to her About Us page. She also added a video of her kind of walking around the shop and showing some gift ideas. It was just a little YouTube link that we added in there, and photos of the staff. And this might seem daunting again, because you're like, I don't know how to get on the website and add all this stuff. But what you do know how to do, your story, you can take pictures of your staff or have someone in your shop that can, and you can send those to your web host and they will add this for you. You just need to say, I want these added to the About Us page, and send them off. They will do it for you. So you just have to take the time to give them the content. I love this next one here because she's just got a rich history. This is Keller and Stein in Michigan. It's a Strider website. And I just don't think you would ever mistake this shop for an order gatherer.
No.
And if you don't change the About Us page at all, it's just a missed opportunity. It just is. If I haven't brought that home yet, if there are other florists in your area, you can really stand out if you update your About Us page. So these are just great ideas. The history, the staff, just so a little bit of info, and it could just be designs that you've made. It doesn't have to be. I've seen all kinds there.
And be careful not to do just all text, because we've both looked at those where it's just all this text. There's no pictures to break it up, and it's great information, but it's just like daunting. It's like nobody's going to read it. And you can tell that all they've done is just like stuff it with some words that really make a difference, right? Those keywords. And you just really want to make it so that the person is enjoying reading, like this one. I mean, my gosh, this is so interesting. It's like reading a storybook. And so it draws you in. And so try to keep that in mind too. Don't just have a lot of words, make it interesting.
For sure. So we talked about the About Us page. The second thing I want to talk about is the homepage. And this is the first impression. Think about this as the face, right? This is your face of your website. And another good place to really focus your time on the homepage. On most platforms, again, these days, they have the ability to add banners. And I love using that feature. So I want to talk about that and show you some examples. Also, definitely put things on the website on the homepage that you want to sell and that represent your brand. If there's only one area to spend your time on, focus on the homepage, because it is the number one bestseller.
Well, and that's what they say. This is they either click through or they don't.
Right. You got one impression, right? You got one shot.
That's the shot right there. And if this is your shot, boy, that's impressive, isn't it?
I love this one. This is a shop I work with in West Virginia. He took a few pictures of the front of his shop and sent them to me, and I added them to a banner, and it just adds so much personality to his site. I feel like it draws you in, but it also helps the customer to say, oh, that's that cute little shop I drive by all the time. They're not going to be mistaken for an order gatherer. You're really putting that local foot forward. And yeah, I just love the way this looks. The next one is similar. She actually added this picture. Her shop is in the peak beauty, everything's blooming with late spring, early summer. And she actually shared this in our Flower Clique members only group. She shared a picture of her shop front, and it was so cute. I reached out to her and said, can I add this to the front of your website for you? And she was like, yeah, she didn't even really realize that we could. And so it wasn't quite formatted for the length of the banner. So we just added a thank you for shopping local and just pointed out the front of her shop. Again, just really inviting and beautiful, right, when you click on her site. The next one here is a big shop in Las Vegas that we work with. And she's one of the most humble women I've ever met, but she has won this really great award several years running. And we said, we need to put this out there for people to see, you know, and she's kind of giving a thank you to her customers for voting them best of Las Vegas 5 years in a row. And I don't know about you, but if I landed on this site by accident and knew nothing about the shop, this would prompt me to stay and buy from them.
Yeah, I agree. It would, because you're like quality. Yeah.
Quality. And then this is my last homepage to show you. This is an example of a shop in Lone Tree, Iowa, Julie's Fountain of Flowers. And she's just doing a cool thing that happened during COVID where she created this open air market. And it was very successful. So she's doing it again this year. Again, she sent like close-up photos of the flowers, and we were able to make this really pretty banner for her. I will give a secret away, and Ellie said it before too. We use Canva a lot. It's a great little secret to creating banners. So I'll just give that secret away. And it's Canva, Canva. And we were able to make that nice banner for her. So talked about the About Us page, talked about the home page. Another area where you can customize your website is if you have a unique gift line in your shop, highlight them on the website. And it's really pretty easy to do. A lot of shops that I work with really worked to get their gifts online when the in-store shopping was shut down. And many of them are continuing to keep it that way because it worked. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to bundle the gifts in a unique basket and market it this way. And that way the shopping is done for them. Your minimums are met for delivery. I ran across this shop and I called her and asked her if I could highlight her website. So this is a basic Teleflora website, but she took and she created these little baskets with spices for Father's Day, you know, for grilling. And I just it makes me laugh a little bit because the idea of having all these spices in her shop, you would not want to go deliver one of those jars of spices, right? I mean, that would be horrible. But what they've done is create a little gift basket with those spices. And I think it's a great idea. I love that she's implementing 2 tips in one here that I just talked about. So she's got the banner, but then she's also got the product where she's bundled it together. And I've been talking to her and complimented her on her website. I like what she's done there.
Well, and it does make you laugh when it's the flying swine all purpose. You know, it's just the name of it just kind of makes you laugh.
It's true. The flying swine.
Yeah, flying swine.
My goodness. And here's an example of a shop I work with that created those gift packages. It's kind of a look at the category page. So it makes it easy for you to deliver it. I don't have a knack to create gift baskets. If somebody said, Cami, create a gift basket, I would probably spend way too much and it would not even go together. So, you know, you guys are the experts on this. You know what you carry, you know what you envision when you buy these gifts. So I would say create these bundles, create these gift packages and market them on your website. I just want to point out that these are not professional photos. What makes them look good is they have taken them with very similar backdrops every time. And then we uploaded them all to the same category so they don't stick out like a sore thumb if they're next to a high resolution professional photo.
And I think that's a real tip that you usually say is, you know, make its own category or put all the same with the same background in one line rather than sprinkle them in and out, because it does look pretty bad when you have one that's clipped background and a real professional photo and then one that's a natural like this that have done their own photographs. So, you know, just keep that in mind when you're doing it. Create your own category if you can. Otherwise, keep everything grouped together.
Yeah, and I had two slides back to back here that are examples. Here's just one other example that you or that you just had up. Yeah, right there. That's just another member I work with, another Flower Clique member that has done that too. He loves his gift line, and he's passionate about it. And he started making these baskets, and it's just done really well. So I just wanted to spark some ideas there if you haven't already done that. That customers like that. And
Agreed.
to highlight it. It's easier than putting every single item of your giftware up on your website. That's kind of daunting, but creating a bundle is not so difficult.
Love that. Love it a lot.
So another solution to customizing your website and making it your own is to enhance the descriptions on the products. You don't need to rewrite the whole description, but you can actually log in and edit the existing ones and add just some local content, and it would really go a long way. So I do have an example here of this would be Teleflora's self-administration tool, ESAT, and you basically take that what they already have, add some, and I've got it highlighted there where that's in blue. You can see where I added some additional text, like organic text. For example, we deliver same day to this city, we deliver to this hospital. You guys know more than anyone what people might be searching for, where your big deliveries, a lot of your deliveries go to, and you can insert that into the description, the product description. Right in here, you can actually edit it. And I just want to say too, this would be an extremely daunting task if you were saying, I'm going to edit every product. That's impossible, really. But what I would say start with is the products on your homepage. Start with items that you always have up, like beautiful in blue, or one of those items. Go ahead and start with that and put in some local content, like we deliver to this city, and maybe the next item you edit, you might say we deliver to this city. You might pick a different city, and you're putting in some content there, authentic content. And again, if you do this and your competitors don't, you can see where that would rank you higher, whenever they're splitting hairs, whenever the search engines are splitting hairs. So what Vonda has up here just shows you kind of what that looks like. I was just going to see if I can read it. I basically added there, we can deliver this beautiful floral design to Abington or the surrounding towns. We also offer same day delivery to South Shore Hospital or other medical facilities. So again, I'm just kind of adding in those key names. If someone searches flower delivery, South Shore Hospital, I've just added some organic content for me to come up as a florist. So easy thing for you to do that will help you.
Love that, Cami. Really, that's really great.
And then the last thing when it comes to customizing that I couldn't leave out is city pages. And this is just a good opportunity to add local content and customization to your website. And again, stand out to the search engines. But city pages are basically a category page, like let's say anniversary or birthday, but you build it and you're calling the city, you're calling the category florist in, and then the city. So florist in Tulsa. I keep saying Tulsa. Florist in Tulsa. Any town or city that you want to show up for, you should create a city page for. And I'll go a little more into this in a minute. Again, if your head is about to explode because you're thinking, I can't create a category on my website. This is why I have a host, right? Like you said in the beginning, but they give you the nuts and bolts. And this is true for even us and our services is, your local content, and we need you to provide that to us, or they'll need you to provide that to them, just to say, this is a city I really want to do better in. And then, these are some major facilities I deliver to. This is a funeral home I deliver to, and so on. You kind of have to put that in there. So this is an example of a shop in Green Bay that has added some city pages right to the main navigation. And not only does this build that impactful SEO content, if a customer's unsure, they can see, okay, florist in, and I didn't want to name all these cities because I started to do better. For florist in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. But it makes it very clear where you deliver to. And yeah, it's just a great way to add this. Google or the search engines that will then index these pages. And when someone is searching for florist in Green Bay, this helps you just a little bit more. Okay, so that's city pages. Now this page that you have here, this is an example. This is more of what I've seen. This is a Teleflora website. The one before it was a FloraNext website. But what I like about this is they're kind of hidden in the sitemap. So they're not all up there for the customer to get kind of, you know, I think it can get a little too junky up on the top nav. If you have too much up there, you want to keep it simple, right? So this is an example of it being hidden in the sitemap so that the search engines can crawl it. And again, you'll show up when someone searches florist in Abington, Massachusetts. And then this next slide shows an example of, I feel like this kind of brings it all to understanding, is it really looks like a category page. And I worked with Joanne on this. She's a Flower Clique florist, and we've been working on our city pages for a while. But basically when if a customer were to click on that link, it looks like a category. She's added at the top there some great local content about Abington, Massachusetts. She's added in that final sentence that says Hutchins Flower Company can deliver funeral flowers to Quealy and Son Funeral Home, Colony Center, Health and Rehab Center. And not only has she added this text, what we did is we even linked that text back to Quealy and Son Funeral Home. And so she's doing some linking. Now this is getting a little intense and it took a long time to do all this, but it's really, really good content here. And I would recommend that you put in products that are kind of good year round. So we put in about 2 rows of products by flower arrangements so that she doesn't have to switch those out. Once they're built, they're built.
Amy, we have a question. I think it's a question. I'm not sure if it's a question or a comment when you're talking about the city pages. Nancy says, wouldn't it be confusing to our clients if you're not mentioning the city that they're sending to?
Well, I definitely think that you would. She probably means that from the product description, because in this description I named a city. Right. That's why I did put or others and other surrounding towns, because I agree. Right. And then I would think the next product you would highlight that town. I mean, you could list them all out too. I was just kind of putting one in there, but yeah, you good definitely. Question. It is a good question. Do you have any questions, Lori?
Not yet.
You feel like you know what it's,
I'm learning. This is my second time listening and I'm learning. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
But it's things that they have this summer that they can start working on for sure.
You know, I feel like the next slide is going to make them breathe a sigh of relief though. Like I may have just said, here's all the things you need to do, but this one is a common mistake. So I've talked about the solutions, and the common mistake number 1, which is taking the website just as it's given to you and not personalizing it at all, right? The second mistake we're seeing is more is better, or the mentality that my customer needs a lot of options, lots and lots of options. And gosh, it's not true. More isn't better. Too many products on the site causes a lot of issues. One, it's overwhelming for a customer. And in a minute, I'm going to show you a slide that will totally overwhelm you. Number 2, customers anymore expect to receive what they have added to the cart. And it is basically impossible for you to fill them all. With the way you're setting yourself up for failure, if you just keep all these products on the website. So I want to say all you need is less. I like that little sign.
Oh, that's good. You know, Cammie, as you're switching, I was thinking just in the last 2 months, and you and I have had this conversation, and it's been in our members group, how many of our members will type in because they have a customer like, it doesn't look like the picture. And even though that pop-up comes up, things may vary. It's like most customers ignore it. They don't even look at it.
I think we're in a day and age where, you know, you add to cart, you get it the next day kind of thing. They feel that way with flowers, with fresh goods too, which is hard to do. So the solution is to simplify the inventory on your website. Keep it simple. Crossover is fine. Reduce the number of products in each category. It's okay to have crossover.
Yeah.
And think about too, what do you want to order? So make sure it's fresh, make sure it's on trend, and actually something that you want to be known for, something that you would make. Make sure it represents your brand. Start with the homepage. So start simple, right? It's probably a daunting task, but start with the homepage and make it, and then move on to bestsellers. And you know what I mean? And then once you have kind of, okay, this is the mix. It's not, it's a lot of work, but you kind of can rinse and repeat once you get a mix that's a pretty good mix. And think like a consumer. Put yourself in their shoes. Make sure you offer plenty of price points. You definitely don't want to, scare them off. So make sure there's plenty of price points and color options and all of that.
And then you'll want to do a crossover is what you have here. Crossover is fine. Like in our Flower Clique websites, we have bestsellers, something with this color palette. We also have it in anniversary and birthday. So it's all different sizes, but you can see how it simplifies your inventory because you don't have to have all the flowers all the time. Here I have this variety of flowers that can be used over multiple different occasions.
Yeah. Think smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this next slide is the one, this is the one that it's a little overwhelming. I will tell you, it didn't take me long to find a website that has not done anything, a florist that has not done anything to their website. This is a teleflorist site that was, this is an anniversary category, one category. And by the way, I couldn't get everything on the slide. Okay. So there was still more. Like
so
it
just populates as we scroll, right, Cammie? I'm scrolling and then they pop back up. They just keep adding more
and more. And so it was still going. I couldn't put them all on the slide. It's overwhelming on many levels. First and foremost, this is overwhelming for a customer. There are too many choices. It's too much, and it actually hurts your conversion rate on your website. So it's overwhelming for the customer, but it's so overwhelming for you florists. There is absolutely no way you can source all these containers and flowers for same day delivery, especially when this is just one category. This isn't even, we still got birthday and get well and new baby and all the things. This is just anniversary. So this is too much.
So Lori, how long would it take you to pick something out of all these?
My heart races
too.
When I see things, when I order flowers, and I keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's too much. And then I get confused as to why like the same vase is in like the same things are all on side by side. Mm-hmm. It's just not visually stimulating at all. It's actually stimulating in a negative way.
Mm-hmm. So this next slide's an example of how we merchandise the site and how we would merchandise your website. This is the new anniversary category. It's not as overwhelming for the customer. There are plenty of options, color choices, and prices to choose from. And if you look close, as the designer, you'll even see some repeat inventory. So red roses, free spirit roses, right? Free spirit roses, the lavender carnations and the purple roses. So you'll see some not only does it provide a good color balance for the eye, but it also makes it easy for you as the designer to go, oh yeah, I can make that. I can do that, right? I've got that in my cooler.
And when you're looking on the website as a consumer, you're only seeing 2 rows at a time. So it's not like I can see, as you have it here, it makes it easier, right? Because you can look at what the bottom row is and you can see something in the bottom row is on the top row. Customers don't see that. They see the 2 rows and they scroll up, they see the next 2. So as you're doing your merchandising and you're deciding to, not have as many items, keep that in mind. You can have something at the bottom that's very similar to what's at the top because they're not looking at them all at the same time.
Well, and something else that just sparked when you said that is when they're on a mobile phone, which most of them are, they're actually seeing even fewer rows at a time. So
Right.
they're not going to make the connection. What they're looking at is price and color. That's really the things they're looking at. And in this example that we're giving, notice the containers are pretty nondescript as well. So with that's really been a win for us, frankly, is that we kind of started our company out with this, with just simplified containers. And with all of the problems that there have been this year with getting containers, it's really made it easy for our florists to fill these orders. So you can get a good idea of what it looks like there. The next one here, this is where you can take a deep breath, because once you have your lineup established, you can just rinse and repeat for other categories. Slip in ones like a gift basket here, or maybe 24 red roses in anniversary, or however you want to do that. But someone shopping in an anniversary is not necessarily also shopping in birthday. So you can make similar items and make your life easier. I guess the biggest point I want to make is take control of the inventory on your website. You tell customers what to order, and you tell them what to buy and what you specialize in, rather than feeling like you're constantly a slave to your website.
Well said. Well said, Cammie.
Kind of passionate about it, really. Because here's the thing, I see shops with that slide that I show. I see it all the time. So I'm just going to quickly recap the solution to number 2, which the mistake was more is better. The solution is simplify the inventory on the site. It's okay to have crossover. It's okay to put beautiful and blue in several categories. Make sure it's fresh, on trend, and fits your brand, and think like a customer, think like a consumer. So
switching sides, got one more question. This is a really good question, I think. Nancy is asking, if you're only going to post one size on your website, which size should you post? Like the small, the medium, the large, or whatever you use? What is the optimal?
I don't know if Vonda would disagree, but I would think that the one that you're going to sell the most of, the most popular, would be like the medium, right? 89, 99, something like that.
Yeah, I would say if you could only do one, if you have all those pictures, sometimes you only have the picture of the standard, but make sure your standard isn't $39, right? But you also don't want to do just the premium, because if you do just premium, then you're going to scare everybody away. So I think what you're saying, Cammie, is to make sure you have something in that $80 to $90 price range, right?
The sweet spot. That's kind of the sweet spot. Also, Nancy, what you can do is when you have a picture like that, you can actually say standard as shown. And that's like your third price point, so the deluxe might be 79, premium might be 109, and standard as pictured is 49. But so you can do that too. It's not ideal, but it's possible. It's a good question.
Good question. Yeah.
So common mistake number 3 is underpricing your products and designs. And just assuming that they're already priced appropriately on your website. So it's good to be competitive in your pricing, right, with the guy up the road. But as we've seen this year, a lot of florists have closed their doors, and it does no good for you to be busy if you are not in business a year from now, if you're not being profitable with those designs. So I'm going to let Vonda kind of take the wheel on that one.
Yeah, that's the key, really. Price your products for profit. It's like Cammie just said, it doesn't do you any good to put those products out there and you're not making any money on them. The customer, you're setting yourself up for failure as well, because many times those pictures that are on there, they want it to look like that. And financially, you can't put that many flowers in those arrangements on whatever your out of the box website is. You just can't, to make the customer happy and to make it look like that picture. So set yourself up for success, price them correctly. If you think when you're looking at one of those designs, you need to add extra flowers, put extra flowers in the pricing so that you can make it all the way around, that it says it's all the way around. So it's really, again, managing the expectations, setting up for success. We look at this and I mean, I truly look at this and shake my head thinking, how could you do any of these as I'm looking through at that price point? Knowing, you have your container costs, which are beautiful containers. I don't have a problem with that. But when you look at the container cost, what it costs to get you there, you do your markup, you're almost there with some of the containers. So these are the ones that you really need to focus on and make sure they're priced correctly. Lori, you had a comment on the lovely lilac and the irresistible iridescence bouquet. I think you had, when we were in this earlier.
So when you guys were going through this earlier, and I'm just listening for errors, I kind of stopped listening because I started thinking, if I saw this as a customer, and again, I'm not a designer, so I don't know as much, I would look at the lovely lilac and the irresistible iridescence, and in my mind they look about the same, but they're very different prices. I would go for the $39.99 all the time because I'm like, well, it's the same size, why not get it? So my concern would be you have something that looks that similar next to, and then on the other side, if you're looking at vases, it's the exact same vase, it just in same color. So maybe don't put those same colors next to each other.
Yeah, it's all about placement, right? Because that's what sets you up for success as well. But you have to price them correctly. And so, for example, I priced out the Sunset Splash, which is this beautiful one with the coral and the aqua vase, this color splash cube, and really use what I would call market prices. And maybe somebody's going to say, oh, no, we get them for much less than that, or we can charge less. And that's great if you can. But if I do the roses, alstroemeria, the miniature carnations, the one stem of chrysanthemums in there, eucalyptus, seeded euc, orgonia, and the salal or lemon leaf, the color splash cube with shipping on there and a 2.25 markup, which we usually say 2.5. So it's a little less, floral foam in there, and then 25% labor. I come up with $65. Now, this is on many websites at $40. Okay. So think about that. Now we know that we have websites bringing in 40, 50, 60% of your orders. Is that correct, Cammie? Somewhere in there?
Not only that, the website's bringing in 50% of your orders, or give or take, but customers are calling and looking at your website. And everyone's probably nodding their head right now. So your website is a big sales tool for you, whether they're making the order online or calling in the order.
Right. And so each one of these designs that's going out that's marked 40 on your website, there's a loss of either, revenue one way or another of $25. I mean, you can't sustain that, guys. You can't. So I know Cammie's saying if you could do one thing, maybe you should do your homepage. I'm saying the one thing you should do is check your prices, because if you get all this traffic to your website, people are coming there and they're ordering, and you're losing money one after another. You're, like Cammie said, in a year, you're not going to be in business.
Right.
So take the time to really look over your prices on your website. Make sure they're where you need them to be able to succeed in business.
Yep.
And so here is one that, they're beautiful images. People like the color splash cubes. They like the sapphire containers. Price them correctly, and people buy them. So I don't think it's that, it's a low end item and people are buying them because of that. No. Price them what they need to be. Set yourself up for success.
Right. So yeah, here's a look at what our pricing would look like too with our Flower Clique designs. Again, you've got we're going to put a $49 design on there, $55 design on there, but it's going to be appropriately priced. And then we're going to try to put like a bigger, showstopper design in there too. So give them several prices to choose from, right? So we try to give them a lot to choose from when it comes to price points and color scheme and all the things. So that's kind of a good example.
which makes total sense. That's what they need to have. So,
And
And
then the
this-
next, yeah, just more products and an idea of what it might look like for the third and fourth rows down.
and always think about putting a plant on there because we know, there's a lot of plant moms out there, and, food baskets, just a great variety.
For
So
sure.
little recap, Cami.
Yeah, so today we talked about the top 3 website mistakes and how to fix them. Some simple things you can do to make your website shine, those custom tips, ways to customize. Hope you walked away with some inspiration and ideas. And then now we're going to have Ellie take it away on how Flower Clique could even help you with some of this stuff. It might feel a little daunting to just walk away and not know, where to start. So.
Okay, hi guys. So just to give you a little overview of Flower Clique, I know many of you are familiar with us, but we are women founded, we're women run, and we're very proud of that. We bridge the gap between the retail florist and the modern day consumer, taking your flower shop to an elevated shopping experience online. All of those things that Cami mentioned, that's really what we're passionate about. We're first and foremost passionate about flowers, but we're also passionate about being business savvy and running sustainable long-term businesses and helping you guys do that. We're really founded on 3 things: simplicity, service, and solutions. We have, if you go to our website, I didn't drop the link in here, but it's flowerclique.com. On the homepage, you'll see we have a blog post getting into these 3 things. So I'm not going to read it off right now, but if you want to know more about, our 3 core values, I really would encourage you to go to our website, flowerclique.com, to really break it down.
I'll drop the link
Within-
to everyone right now too through the chat, so they'll have it.
Perfect. Thank you. So Flower Clique is a lot of things, but all the things that Cami mentioned, our main service is called One Click, which is full website management. It's concierge. We have the SEO optimization. We do customizations for everybody. We have a whole system that I'll get into a little bit in the next slides, but we do Facebook posts as well, Google My Business. There's a separate wedding site you can have to grow your wedding sales. There's a celebration of life marketing tool that we have. We have digital books, physical books to grow your sympathy sales. We have a farm to flower shop inventory system. We have an amazing online community of florists that really are passionate about helping each other. And no contracts, and it's a month-to-month membership, just to clarify that. So within One Click, we have this part of our ecosystem called the Farm to Flower Shop inventory system. So if you want to go to the next slide. So to break it down for you, we launched this Farm to Flower Shop before Mother's Day of 2020, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And since then it's grown. We have like so many options for different bouquets and all of that. And all of those bouquets correlate to all of the products that you see on your website if you are a member. So you get them in these adorable Flower Clique branded boxes straight from the farm. We have an awesome farm we work with, and just really, really great product, extremely high quality. And so you get these pre-made bouquets, and then we have recipes that then correlate to all of the finished designs on the website. So you're not going into the cooler and picking out one rose and one carnation and this and that. And also your designers aren't overstuffing with things. So it's very simple. You use half a bouquet, you use a whole bouquet, you use 2 bouquets, you mix 2 bouquets together to create an entirely separate look. It's really fun. It's been super successful. Our members love it. So that's a little bit about Farm to Flower Shop. And there you can kind of see the breakdown. So you have that one bundle with the free spirit roses, with the mini green hydrangea, with the peach carnations, all these beautiful things. Then they make, what is that? 12, 14, 15 designs, 14 designs plus on your website that are sprinkled into different categories, but they're all using that same product. So you're minimizing your cost of goods sold.
One of the most common questions I hear too, Ellie, is does it come in a bundle form or is it loose? Are they loose flowers? You know, and it does come just like this picture here, except it doesn't come with the brown craft sack,
Right.
but we do. That's what our florists love is, and some have even just had the cash and carry bouquets that they sell with it too. Not only do they design with them, but they do cash and carry.
And that's another point is, I mean, they're great cash and carry as well, but the designers at the farm that are assembling the bouquets, they're not just stuffing all the roses on one side and the carnations on the other. They're very beautifully designed in and of themselves. So yeah, they're great. We love them. In addition, within One Clique, we have new collections that launch. We do photo shoots all the time to keep your site super fresh. But again, we're not like expanding within tons of different containers and tons of different product. We're really keeping that inventory low with a lot of crossover, but still doing a ton of new images to keep your site looking super fresh.
I would
So
also, sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so this one is called a fusion. So we've taken two of the bouquets and put them together so that we don't create new bouquets. What we're trying to do is use those existing inventory, meld those together and come up with something new.
This is one of my favorites. I actually received something like this for my anniversary from a flower click shop in my town. Loved it. But I want to say one of the most common questions I get too is some florists are like, I love my wholesaler. I get a great deal already on flowers. You don't have to do the bundles. The bundles are like an extra bonus. It does make life easier, but it's not something you have to do. I'd say about 50% of our shops implement the bundles, more so at holiday time. Some do them all the time, more, you know, at Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, they're like all in. So
yeah, and you can still have that balance of getting your standing order from your wholesaler. Maybe it's pared down slightly, but then also getting the bundles to do your online fulfillment. And then there you can just kind of see like that magenta bouquet from her receiving it in her hands and then what it looks like on the website. Just kind of to bring that around. Just a couple other of these tools. This is our Celebration of Life guide, which is a physical like coffee table book. We also have an online version or a digital version that you can provide to your funeral director. And then customized wedding websites. We have a couple different options on that so you can grow your wedding business. So Cami, this is yours.
yeah, so we work with several web platforms. It's growing all the time. Flower Shop Network or FSN, Teleflora, Web Systems, Floranex, Strider, FTD, Media 99, Gravity Free, Hannah. Those are the current website platforms we work with. We actually have a great deal going right now that I'm super excited about. I kind of asked Vonda, can we do this please for the summer? And we're doing a buy one, get one, or if you join by June 30th, or if you meet with us, you get your first month free on us to try it. And as Ellie said, there's no contracts or anything like that, no high pressure. I can honestly say not many people are unhappy so far. I've had really, really happy members. So I think I have confidence. If you give it a try, you'll be really happy.
These were just a couple testimonials. I used to spend so much time spending late nights and weekends self-managing my website. Not anymore. Their One Clique service is incredible. Our conversion rate is 11%. Average order for August was 112. They are my not so secret weapons to my flower shop success. And then another one there you can read. But yeah, those are, we have a lot of members that you can call if you need a reassurance. But sorry, I was getting a phone call.
And you can look on our Google, look up Flower Clique, and you'll see a ton of reviews there from members too.
Yep. So in addition to One Click, we do have a couple courses. They're currently closed for enrollment. We're going to open them back up here in a month and a half. We have Flower Prep School, which basically can take a delivery driver to a designer. We have a lot of different use cases for this. A lot of people use it for onboarding new employees. So there's that. And then there's also Sales Prep School, which is another great onboarding tool for new staff, for existing staff, all of that. So we are going to be relaunching those. So stay tuned for some emails on those. Vonda and Lori also have an amazing podcast, The Business and Pleasure of Flowers. It's available wherever you download and listen to your podcasts. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And this is just the overview because I know it's a lot. We do a lot. We're very busy people. Because we want you to succeed, we want to give you as many tools as possible. So that's just the little overview, bird's eye view of what we do.
So we do have only 4 minutes left, guys, and we have some questions, but I think we can just maybe get to one of them, and then maybe Cammie, you can follow up with the other ones. Question One Shop says, I only get 20% of my sales from my website. How can I grow that, Vonda or Cammie? That's shocking because typically what we've been hearing lately is at least 50%.
Yeah. I mean, I do think there's so many variables to know like what her platform is. And I would also double check that her Google listing is pointing to her website. I just ran across one. I've run across some more and more where somehow the Google listing is not pointed to their website. So I would definitely check that and make sure it's driving people to your website and not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anything else to add to that?
No, Cammie knows that best, but yeah, I'm surprised too. It depends on your area, but especially with no walk-in sales, I mean, that's kind of disheartening. If you only have 20% of your business coming from your website, there's got to be something going on there too.
Right.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, you should, if you want to. I think Cammie, you would be willing to do a little checkup with them, probably.
For sure. Little analysis.
Right.
Shoot her an email at cammie@flowerclique.com and include your website address, and then she can take a look at that and maybe can do a little dive into it for you.
For sure.
Someone else, and that along that line, and then this has to be our last one. Somebody says, do you guys evaluate websites before sign up? And that's what you were just talking about. So absolutely, we need to evaluate it to see if it's even a fit, right? Because we always say we're not for everybody.
Right.
So you can just reach out to Cammie or myself and we can get it set up.
So I just wanted to say, Lori and I just yesterday had a webinar for our members. Really, it was about time management. It was really self-management. And this quote really spoke to me. And I think it speaks to all of us when we really say our time is our life. Therefore, if we waste our time, we waste our life. But if we master our time, we master our life. So is there things that you're trying to do in your life every day, like whoever gave us the quote about staying up late at night, trying to manage their website, trying to get this done, trying to get that done? Is there something that you can take off your plate and have somebody else manage for you so that you can continue to manage yourself and do things that you love to do? So that would be something I really encourage you to do. Really, really think about that. What is it in your life that you're managing that maybe you don't want to do and it's not in your wheelhouse? It's probably in our wheelhouse and we'd love to help.
Yep.
So thank you. And if there's any questions, don't hesitate to send Cammie an email. Her email is probably blowing up at this point. Cammie@flowerclique.com. And again, we so appreciate you being here. If there's anything we can do, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, Cammie. Great work.
Thank you.